How much conditioning is healthy for a child at what age? My name is Marion Hopfgartner. I'm an educationalist, an author of 7 books, and the founder of TLI Pedagogics. Today I'd like to speak with you about conditioning. Conditioning of the minds, conditioning of habits, conditioning in rituals of children. And of course I'd like to go to the very young ones, to the toddlers, and I like to look at with you together at a picture. And this picture, I want you to really study together with me and see about conditioning and what you think, and I give you my inputs on what I see and how we view it in TLI Pedagogics. So let's change to the picture and get an understanding of what I'm speaking about. So you can see now this picture of a toddler, very young child. What do you think? Maybe 2.5, 3, 2.5 years old. I don't think the child is yet 3 years. What you can see here is what we see very frequently in a preschool. You can see in a different way, of course. You can see that the toddler, this girl, as far as I see, put the toys around. Yeah, so a horse, a dog, a cat. You can see many, many toys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 toys we can see in the picture. And the child has a picture book. And in the picture book, there is a story. And the child is telling the story to her toys. And you can see that what happens here is a modeling of a situation that we find in the preschool very frequently, where the teacher sits down and the children are sitting in a circle around the teacher. The teacher has a picture book and displays it to the children and speaks about the story. So let's speak about that. Conditioning part. You can see that the child seemed to be very happy to show the picture book. Means it's processing what's happening in preschool and in kindergarten. You also see that the child looks quite happy on this picture. So you would mean that maybe the child has a positive attitude to it. And for sure she has a very positive attitude towards it because she doesn't know a different way. So, but now let's speak about what is natural to a child. Speaking about what is natural, it's a question, would a toddler aged 2.5 years by herself sit down in a circle and listen to a picture book for a long period of time? And when you know a little child at 2.5 years, you know that will not happen, especially not in the situation how you saw it, because the pictures are way too small and the interaction that happens from the picture book is not animating enough to the child. So naturally, the child would come, sit down, sit for a very short period, maybe 5 minutes, and listen, then stand up and walk away. So what normally happens is when a child comes to preschool, that educators in the first weeks constantly try to put the children back on their chairs and they say, oh, we are not yet done. Please stay a little longer. Politely, lovingly, caring, of course, but it is an instruction which goes against the natural development of the child. So what we say in TLI Pedagogics is, let's see what is the developmental approach, means what is the development sensitive approach. When a child develops her cognitive abilities, during that time, naturally he or she will show us what is possible and what not. Sitting at one place, listening, very engaged to a story for a longer time is not yet a cognitive ability in most of the children, only if they are trained. And this is when we speak about conditioning. So many teachers, also parents, tend to condition their children. So they exercise with them repeatedly till they get it right. By that, we take the natural intrinsic motivation more and more away from children. And this is why in TLI pedagogics, we try not to do this. We try not to condition the child, but allow the child to come from within with the impulses which are there and do what they feel is the thing that helps them in development the best at that present moment. So we actually are not very heavy on conditioning. We are very much focusing on the free play and play. So the question is, no picture books in TLI pedagogics? Yes, of course, we have picture books in TLI pedagogics. But what does not happen is this kind of situation, how you can see it here. The setting would not be the same. So if a child takes a book, we sit down with the child and we start reading it. And yes, there may come some children and they can stay or they can go. You know, there's an interesting thing that we discovered over the many years of studying the early childhood education and how children develop. And you surely have noticed the same thing already. It's not up to the child sitting beside you or sitting in a circle that it gets the knowledge of it. So, for example, when you sit down and you read a picture book to a child, and another child is somewhere else playing with blocks, it can happen that at a later date, this child who was playing with the blocks tells you about what was happening in the story and speaks with you about it. And then you become aware, oh, it's not just this circle who creates the learning aspect. What is important in TLI pedagogics, we try to avoid settings which are schooling-like. So sitting in a circle, having one teacher and students, is very much like school. But the children in the first years, especially the first 2 and 3 years, they are very much into movement, sensory play, short settings, like just having a short song, having a finger play, very short interactions, free play, going from one to the other, understanding, deepening in what they find the most interesting at the present moment. So this setting is not really for toddlers. This setting is more for children starting at the age 3.5 to 6. So this is one of the inputs that I would like to give you on conditioning. Conditioning means programming. It means that our brain works like a computer, very similar. I don't know if the computer is rebuilt after the function of the brain, but what is the similarity between the two of them is whatever information the brain receives, it's doing something with it. So the younger a child, especially in the first 3 years of life, the child does not have really filters which help to filter between this information is helpful, this information is not helpful, or this information is right, or this information is fraud information, or this information will support my development, or this information will limit my development. So the cognitive intelligence is not yet there to really do that. What is called a situation where the child has an absorbing mind. Whatever information comes, it's absorbed. So when the situation of conditioning happens, it means that whatever ritual is introduced, the child accepts, even if it's limiting to the child. Can a conditioning in regard of structures and rituals be limiting? That would be one question that you might have, because I showed you this situation with the circle and what we would be calling the morning circle, where the children come together and you sing songs and all of that. What it is, it's an early conditioning from there is an authority which I have to listen to. What is, when we go in a very later period, the same in the school, there is an authority we have to listen to. And if we think we want to do something different as children, the authority tells us not to do. And there will be a kind of a consequence if we do it. So this conditioning goes on. At a later time, you have a boss and you have a worker. And the boss is the authority, and whatever the boss says, the worker is doing. That worked very well in the 20th century. Put this aside. Now we are in the 21st century. Here it's all about team approach, team building. It's about that the leader of a company is not saying do this, do that, do this. It's not micromanaging people, but rather saying I want this outcome on that day. So on Friday, I want you to give me a paper with all of the requirements for our next production. And then you are alone or with your team in a process. So if you're conditioned to only follow instructions, like in the morning circle, now you have to sit, now you sing the song, now you do the finger game, now you're allowed to stand up. It's really, and when that is going on throughout the entire schooling process, this conditioning really makes you limited in your success, in your power of success. So you will not be able to reach the same amount of success just by this conditioning, because your mind is not able to think like that, because it wasn't conditioned to think, to ask questions, to think differently, to think out of the box, to not follow instructions and find your own way. So the 21st century and what we need in this world, especially in engineering, in architecture and all of that, is all about thinking outside of the box. This is the realization century, we can say, and the digital century. So in that regard, the morning circle, this kind of activities have been right for a very long time. It really helped, especially in the time when it was about industrialization, the early industrialization and the late industrialization. But now we are in digitalization, we are in realization. So in that, it might really not be the good thing to help children to manifest their potential. So in that regard, you might want to rethink this kind of instructions as a teacher, early childhood teacher, but also as a parent. If you have very strict rituals, you make them and the children have no part in it, maybe you want to rethink it and think about maybe we can create a kind of a communication or sitting together at a table. And children also can give their input, how they feel, what they would like to change, what ideas they have, according to the age, of course. So this is what I would like to tell you today about conditioning. Surely there will come more over these next weeks and months, because I'm just getting started with all of these awesome things on the modern education, which really can help you. If you like this video, please do not forget to like the video and also to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell, and whenever we upload a video, you're informed. And don't forget, there might be mothers, fathers or educators out there where you think that could be really something for them to rethink also for their approach in education. Feel free to really share this video. We are very happy to see you back. I wish you a good day.